It's recording. Yes. Okay. Guys, welcome to my channel. So I've decided to start a YouTube channel. People watch YouTube for everything. I know I do. I watch it for absolutely everything. Everything. So I just wanted to tell my story in my first video. So Beth, the name is, and I am just turned 24, and March the 7th last year, so 2016, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I know, huge shock, but it's not going to be a depressing video. That's just not me. I don't dwell on things. I don't want to dwell on it. I'm putting it out there because I want to make people aware that it does happen to people my age, younger people. It's not just old people. So I have a few notes. I'm just going to go. So it all started last year. I found a lump in my left boob, and so I found a lump in my left boob. I went straight to my doctor, just because I always checked my boob, so I always knew what normal was to me, and this wasn't normal. This was not a normal. This was a mass. This was a lump. This was something that didn't move, so it didn't move around. It was hard. It didn't hurt when I touched it, but it just wasn't normal. So I found it on the Saturday, so I couldn't get into the doctors until Monday. So I went to the doctors on Monday. He examined me, felt the lump, said, yeah, there's definitely something there. So I knew I wasn't going crazy. I knew I wasn't losing my mind. That kind of made me feel a bit better. I didn't think that I was like just putting it in my head. So he then referred me to the breast unit, I think it's called, or the breast unit at my local hospital, and that was for the following week. So the following week I went there. So it was like a whole week of I've got this lump, I've got to go to the hospital to go check it out. The doctor had said that he didn't think it was cancer, which I didn't. Me being my age, he told me he went through all the procedures so that they'd give me an ultrasound. It might be like a cyst, I think he said it was called, and they'll just drain it and then that was it. So in my mind for that week, it was that. They was just going to drain it, it'll be fine. So then we went the Monday, Josh came with me, I didn't want to go on my own. And then I went for an ultrasound. She was checking it, and I could kind of tell in her face this wasn't normal. And then she said it wasn't a cyst, they needed to do a biopsy. So she used the biggest needle I've ever seen to take a bit of tissue out. And then she also checked my lymph nodes, so just under my armpit. She checked them. She said one was abnormal. One was abnormal, and one was bigger. So one was bigger. So she also took a biopsy of that as well. And she said the results would be 2 weeks. So that was on the Monday. 2 weeks later, I would go and get the results. 2 weeks. Crazy. So it wasn't 2 weeks for me. It was a week because they rang me. So they rang me the following Monday. They rang me and said, could I go in? They wanted to see me. It was like 2:30. Never on time, as always, but that doesn't bother me. So we went in, and he told me that it was cancer, but it had not gone into my lymph nodes, which was good news from bad news. So it was good news that it had not gone there, because if it had gone to my lymph nodes, it was easier for it to travel around the rest of my body. So there were signs that it had not gone there, but they needed to do another biopsy to check. Another biopsy checked, waited for results, that came back clear. So it was in my left boob. From the ultrasound, it was 12 millimetres. So it didn't seem that big, just over a centimetre. And then I had to go for an MRI. That was another weird experience. Had to go for an MRI. The results came back for that and it was actually 60 millimetres. So the way that the ultrasound was doing it, couldn't see the whole tumour. So that was 60 millimetres. When I first was told I was just having radio, that was it. Then as soon as it was bigger, was told I had to have chemo. So I had 8 rounds of chemo. I had my chemo was called FEC-T, so FEC-T. So the first 4 were the FEC chemo, and the last 4 was the T chemo. They all have massive words. I couldn't tell you what they was called. And then when I was having the T chemo, the last 4, I also had to start a drug called Herceptin. So I had to have chemos once every 3 weeks. So I think my first one started end of April, lasted until, my last one was the end of September 2016. So I had to have them. Then I had to have an operation to remove the lump. So the chemo killed the cancer, but it doesn't get out of your body. It's still in there. It needed to be removed out of my body. So I had the options. I had different options of things I could do to get rid of it. But at the beginning, I'd always said that I just wanted a mastectomy. So I just wanted them off. To me, it was, well, it's come when I'm 23. We're not sure how I've got it. So what's stopping it from coming when I'm older? So I just wanted that peace of mind of chopping them off, and getting rid of it, just getting rid of the badness. So I decided that. It's a huge decision, but I decided to do that. And then I also decided, I had a few options of how to reconstruct, and the option that I chose was implants. So I had the operation. They took all my tissue from my boobs. They also took lymph nodes out of my left side to take them out to make sure that none of them, well, they took them out to make sure it had not gone to any of them. So they did that, and then I got the results that they took all the cancer out, and they had the lymph nodes that they took out, which they took 3 out. There was one that had a bit of scar tissue on, the other 2 was clear, but they said that the one that had scar tissue on could be from when I had the previous biopsy, so when the needle went in and they took tissue out. I've then having now 3 weeks worth of radiotherapy. So that is going to the hospital every day, Monday to Friday, and having radio. So they've chose to give me radio because I'm so young and they don't know why I've got it, the breast cancer. So it's kind of a belts and braces. It's an extra precaution to wipe it out. The last bit of my treatment, hopefully, fingers crossed, is this radio. So 3 weeks worth. I have 5 more sessions? 5 more sessions left of radio. And then I'll have tests again, make sure it's all out, and then that's it. It's just the Herceptin till the end of June. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. So the things that I've done. And I'm also starting this to make people aware. So to check your boobs, to know when something is not normal. So in my case it was a lump. It's not always a lump. might not be a lump, but to know your boobs and to know when, oh, that's not normal, that doesn't happen, or that's not been there, to know what the difference is. So as soon as that happens, you go to your doctors, and everyone's different, so don't listen to my story and think, oh God, that's what's going to happen to me. I'm going to have chemo, surgery, radio. It's not, okay? There's quite a few people in my family that have had breast cancer, and I have also been tested for the BRCA gene. Don't have it. Don't listen to people and think this is going to happen to me. Don't think that, oh, they've had chemo. Right, I've had chemo, but she's had 8. Why am I only having 6? Don't think like that. The doctors do know what they're doing. They know what they are giving you. They know the treatment that you'll need. And don't think, oh gosh, well, Beth had chemo and she was only tired. Why am I feeling really ill?